Coming up on today's video, I want to react to Mel Kiper, latest NFL draft big board, because there's a little bit of a civil war going on between Browns fans as to who wants to take a quarterback at number 2 and who wants maybe trade back or take someone else at the second overall pick. And we can have that debate another day, another time. What I want to focus on today is the prospects themselves, because I feel like too many people have been ingrained in the position or the trade idea, and they haven't actually looked at the players themselves or gotten to know who the Browns could be picking as a player. So let's start off with the number 1 player on Kiper Big Board. It is the do-it-all man from Colorado, the Heisman winner, Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter is a very, very interesting prospect because in one hand he's kind of like the Show Ohtani of football, with his versatility and his ability to play both sides of the football, nearly 1,500 snaps in 13 games on offense and defense, and it's just astounding to see the stamina and the ability to play at such a high level with very little breaks. I mean, most of the time when the offense is on the sideline, not only are they catching their breath, but they're also talking to their position coach, to the offensive coordinator. They're looking over film from what they saw on defense. Hunter never gets that opportunity. He gets a couple of TV timeouts to catch his breath, get a quick swig of water, and then he's right back out there, 6 feet, 185 pounds. So from a makeup standpoint, a little bit. Maybe on the smaller percentile side of things, but he's plenty bigger to play at a high level on offense or on defense. When you look at his receiving stats, the guy was astounding. 15 total touchdowns, nearly 100 grabs, 12,200 yards. Some people think he might be better as a wide receiver. Some people think he might be better as a defensive back. That I'll leave it up to you to decide for yourself. Personally, I think he's going to project to be a better corner, but what I can tell you is wherever he ends up, when training camp rolls around, the wide receiver coach and the secondary coach are going to be at war with one another, because they're going to want Hunter on their side of the football in their meeting rooms. And if the team decides to play him just one way, because I don't feel like he can play at a high level both ways in the NFL, I'm curious to see which side of the ball he ends up playing now. I'm a little bit torn on Hunter's projection. On one hand, I got like 2 devils on my shoulder. The nice devil is telling me he's awesome at football. He's a great receiver. He's a great corner. What are we discussing here? The guy's an incredible all-around football player. That's one shoulder. The other shoulder is telling me if he's only going to play one way in the NFL, meaning whichever team takes him. If their plan is to just play him as a corner or as a wide receiver, well, I think we then have to somewhat disregard the other half of his resume when making an evaluation on him. If the Browns only plan to play him as a corner, then we don't have to waste our time looking at his receiver stats, because he's not going to be a receiver, and when he only plays one side of the ball, he is still a very good football player. I don't know if he's top 3 in the draft, good receiver, or top 3 in the draft, good corner, and I'm starting to listen to that side a little bit more, and that's where I'm stuck. That's where I'm like a Ricky Bobby. I got a pretzel on my head. He's a great football player. He won the Heisman. But is it going to translate super-duper well if he doesn't play both ways at the next level? That's the big question I have before we look at the other players. On Kiper Big Board, we are losing for the first time maybe ever in a subscriber battle with the Ravens, run down here at Zachria Sport. Their season just came to an end, which was great to see. On the other hand, had the Bills lost, the Browns would have had an earlier round 3 draft pick, because Cleveland has Buffalo's pick, by the way. I don't think Amari Cooper is even going to games anymore. You hardly see him at all. But anywho, let's make sure we take down the Ravens rundown in subscribers for the month of January. Click that subscribe button down below. Moving on to the next player on Kiper Big Board. It is Abdul, the edge rusher from Penn State. This is somewhat like Hunter, a very fascinating prospect, because it's not a simple slam dunk. There is no real debate to have here. He's a surefire thing for starters, whichever team takes them. They are taking a pass rusher who will have only played that position for one season. He started off as an inside linebacker at Penn State and then made the transition in 2024 to being a traditional edge rusher outside linebacker. If you're concerned about that transition, I'll remind you that Micah Parsons plays defensive end right now. For the Cowboys, he was not a defensive end at Penn State, so you can make the change in the NFL from